five, no debating. Top five.
Yeah, girl, you ready to do this? You ready to count this thing down? We're doing the top five, heard? Yeah, let's set it off with 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yum. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Ranked Top 5 List of Stuff That Don't Matter. I'm your tasty chef of a host, Tuong La, and I'm here today to talk about food with a bunch of foodies, people who just love getting into it. They just love having their shirts off and grease just drip down their naked bodies. I'm not sure. I've only met 2 of these guests today, but I just assume, just looking at them, that they're these type of people. We'll soon find out, but the first guest I know for sure, loves that greasy food oil all over their body. I'm talking about Tom Zalatnai, everyone.
Hey, folks, it's me, Tommy Z. Don't you know, I do love to get naked and covered in grease.
I knew it. I knew it all along. And is Tommy Z a new nickname for you?
I don't know that I'd call it new, but it sure is a thing I said.
I love it. When is the new Tommy Z album dropping?
September 2022.
And the name of the album, of course?
Ooh, that's going to be a top secret.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll tease it out as the show goes on. But
no, that's the title of the album.
That's the name of the title? Oh, wow. Okay. So say it again. It's a little top secret?
Ooh, that's going to be a top secret by Tommy Z. Drops September 2020.
And the ironic thing is it doesn't drop that date. That's also part of the title, too.
Well, we'll see.
Well, we'll see. Work in progress.
I got a little
Tom, can you
I've been
introduce
working on.
the next guest for me?
You know I can. You know I'd love to. Today, joining us on the show, I didn't decide which of the 2 of them I'm going to introduce first, so let's just go left to right here. Joining us on the show for the first time ever here in the Pod Cavern, one of my favorite people in the world to talk food with. This person is from Ohio, which is kind of like where I'm from, Quebec, in that they used to be the same place for like 5 seconds historically, and both of them kind of suck in their respective countries. Fellow bearded former Christian youth group kid who does podcasts now, rock climbing aficionado and fan of all things fast food, it's Matt Cole.
Wow. Are you just like on my Facebook page reading through the things that I've liked in the 15 years that I've had a Facebook?
I went as far back as humanly possible.
Yikes.
Matt Cole, everyone. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. You came to talk about food. I came to fight. I don't really care why. I'm here to fight.
And you're wearing the like bro tank to show it. Like you're intimidating me through camera. Just like flex. You've been flexing this entire time. You don't have to. You can see the anger in your face, but you don't actually have to threaten me.
Oh yeah, mad flex. Threw my back out this week and came here from a chiropractor's appointment. Still wearing the same clothes, ready to flex.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm happy to verbally fight with you, but not yet. Of course not yet, because before we do any of that, you have to introduce the final guest.
Oh, I do get to introduce the final guest. I know less about the final guest than Tom found out about me from reading my Facebook page, but I do know he is the Lord of Bocce in New York City. It's Giovanni Colantonio.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good detail to pick out of everything. Yeah, I am Italian. That's true. Good fact.
Wait, did I hear Lord of Bocce? Like bocce ball bocce?
Like the old man game that if you go to Italy and you hit the age of 60, they put a bocce ball in your hand and say, you have to do this now. That game, yes. I do play bocce. I'm not 60, but when I hit it and they try to force the bocce ball in my hand, I'll say, oh, don't worry, I brought my own.
Oh, you brought your... That was my next question. You brought your own balls.
Yeah.
Oh, you own a set.
I have a
of
set.
course.
Yeah,
you own
absolutely.
a few, in fact.
No, well, a set of balls. I don't have multiple sets of balls. But
okay, well...
speak for yourself.
Well, what a way to start the episode, talking about everyone's bocce ball set on this fast food chain episode. Yes, that's why we're covered in grease today, because we all love food here. When I presented this to the group, I had like a list of, I don't know, a zillion. I'm just going to go ahead and say a zillion topics. And right away, everyone just lasered into fast food chains. Let's talk about that a little bit. Why this topic?
I mean, as previously established, we all like to cover ourselves in grease and be nude. And really, like, when your favorite pastime is being naked and greasy, there's nothing better than a fast food chain for that. Because most of them will let you do it in the store, and if they don't, then the food will take out well to your house so you can do it in the privacy of comfort.
Yeah, I feel like we're all sort of in the same general age range where we've lived a significant portion of our lives fueled exclusively by fast food. Sometimes by choice, sometimes by necessity. But boy howdy, would I not be where I am today if not for the loving, consistent support of my fast food family.
Thank
and
you,
I'm
fast
excited
food.
to talk about it
This
today.
is a shout out
Thank
to
you, fast food.
Hallelujah.
The only thing I'll add here is fast food has been very important to my life and a lot of my friendships, and something that I used to do in college with two people who are two of my well, actually, I think all three of my podcast hosts were involved in it. Now that I remember. We used to do what was called the Fast Food Grand Prix up in Ithaca, New York, where there was a stretch in Ithaca where there was a Burger King, an Arby's, a McDonald's, a Taco Bell, and a Wendy's all on the same block. And we would get in cars and do a Grand Prix where you had to go through the drive-thru of each one and build a meal off the dollar menu, come back to the Taco Bell parking lot, and you had to be the first to eat the entire meal and throw it away before everyone else. We called it the Fast Food Grand Prix. And that was a fundamental part of friendships in college, so fast food means a lot to me.
Wow.
Competitively.
I love this. Can we do this after?
I would like to do this, yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? As we get older and we get more mature, people are like, that shit's bad for you. We know it's bad for us. That doesn't mean I'm not going to have it every now and then. Come on. Let me live a little.
Listen, there's no such thing as bad food if it brings you joy and makes you feel good.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
That's not nothing.
Yeah.
Listen, if fast food kills me, then I died happy.
Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about the ground rules of today's episode. What is fast food chains? How are we defining this? What counts as nominations? I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but let's break it down anyways. What do you guys think?
Should each of the three of us define one of those three words? Fast, food, and chain?
Yes. I wasn't going to ask about that, but I think it's now necessary since you put it out in the world. Tom, you get the word food.
All right. Food is anything that you consume with your mouth that gives you energy in any capacity, whether it's nutritious or not.
Great. Matt, you got the word chains.
It's things that Ghost Rider carries.
Perfect. Move on.
They're
No, that's it.
typically metal and linked together.
And sometimes they go on fire.
And sometimes they go on fire. See also numbers of related businesses owned by one megalomaniacal corporation.
Fantastic. And Giovanni, the word fast, if you will.
Well, of course, I can't say it without referencing my son, Sonic the Hedgehog. Much like Sonic, being fast is all about being fast. I don't know. What do you want me to define here?
Can you define that word without using that word, please?
It is about being speedy.
Great.
Blue.
Quick results.
Fast like Sonic the Hedgehog, everyone. Yeah. Much like us. Fast in bed, fast with running with our hands behind our back. Ugly Sonic or new Sonic?
I love Ugly Sonic.
Everyone does. Yeah, me too.
I think it's got it. I think Ugly Sonic is going to usurp Sonic as like the Sonic that people care about, and they're going to have to start making Ugly Sonic video games.
Not to go derail on this, but the new Chip and Dale movie on Disney Plus apparently it's a mishmash of a bunch of cartoons, and Ugly Sonic makes an appearance and has like a 1-minute spot in it, and it's wonderful because he's hideous.
It's voiced by Tim Robinson of I Think You Should Leave fame.
I love it.
Yeah, that new Chip and Dale's movie is actually the beginning of the new Disney multiverse that everybody is talking about right now.
Yeah, okay. One of many multiverses for Disney.
I think we just need to address the fact that Matt just called it a Chippendales movie and has
Dale.
Yeah, you absolutely did, and I wasn't going to correct you.
Oh, my bad. Bad. All that naked and greasy talk earlier, I guess.
We're in the right mindset.
Hell
So fast food chains, I'm thinking we all know what it is in our hearts. I think as long as it's a chain, there has to be multiple of them. You have to be able to get the food fast. So it's not I think there's aspects of fast food restaurants that you can sit down and eat it if you want. But a prime thing about it is you can also get it for takeout, and you can usually get it within, 5 minutes once you order it, kind of thing, right?
Unless they're slammed. Like, we obviously, we've all been there. It doesn't take away their fast food status just because there's only one line cook or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to throw it. I think just like a really key ground rule for this, which is no bullshit. Nobody try to pull a fast one over me with like, oh, like there's this really cool burger place in my neighborhood that is only one thing in my neighborhood, but it's really good. If anyone does that, I swear to God, I'm gonna flip out. I want to hear only
to nominate.
If I haven't heard of it, I'm gonna flip out.
Wow.
So I wanted to ask a clarifying question, right? You said multiple locations, but I hail from the American Midwest where everything has multiple locations. How regional can we be today? Because I'm in Ohio, G's in New York City. Y'all are both in Canada, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the one big city of Canada.
That's right.
I think there has to be there's a level of regional, but I feel like it can't just be state regional. I feel like it has to be like, if it's a Northeast chain, like a Northeast American chain, and it's like a big Northeast chain, that's fine. If we were talking about, something that's like specific to the West and is enough of an institution on its own, I think that's fine too. Mm-hmm. But what I don't want is like, hi, I'm from Oswego, New York, and Pretty Irma has a burger joint that you're going to love down off I-95. Like, if anyone's... I'm going to flip out. I'm going to leave the podcast if anyone tries
I'm going to nominate something like that because I want to see it.
Breakfast joint, for like some breakfast diner.
Sure. I guess it makes sense that it can't be something that's like so hyper local that like, yes, there's 4 of this one brunch place in our city, but it is just in our city,
right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get to it. And I'll defer to the group if it comes up. I do have one that is kind of fits the mold, but there is multiple. It is growing. I do consider a fast food chain.
Okay.
But it's definitely not hit the zeitgeist of the entire North America. But it's not also just like it's just one location in one street kind of thing.
We'll
get
this
to
podcast. I'll quit this. I swear to God, it better be real.
Gee, do you have a Nike swoosh on your bathroom door?
It's a room, but thank you for.
I hate corporations except for Nike.
A witch used to live here. I don't know. I didn't choose this.
Hey man, can I use your bathroom? Yeah, just do it.
All right, let's get into it. I'm getting hungry here. Just like every episode of Ranked, we're going to go around 3 times, nominating 3 nominations each, making a master list of 12 and whittling that down to a top 5 fast food chains list. This is interesting because we are getting a full breadth of, first, one of the ground rules is like, obviously these fast food chains is going to be North America based. We have people in America and Canada, so we're going to have quite a few different opinions on stuff because we don't have quite a few restaurants that you guys have down there and vice versa, right? But the first thing that I'm going to nominate just to cause chaos to Giovanni right off the top is a place that, do I want to do this off the top? Yes, I will. Okay, this kind of fits what I view as a fast food restaurant, but I will say it is localized to a specific place in Ontario at this time. Okay? So,
okay.
I know, but when you see the food and you can see that this place is growing, I can't say... Here's my thing, is I don't want to just nominate the easy stuff. There's a very obvious, on-the-nose answer that we can say is number 1 for fast food chains. I don't want that in this list. We could have it, but I don't want it. I want to go niche. I want to go a little bit further beyond. Okay? So, my new friend Giovanni stares me down. That is burning my soul. I'm nominating a place in Toronto at this time called Bun Me Boys. And Giovanni's gone. Tom, have you been to this place before?
No.
Have you heard of this place before?
No.
Let me link you The food that I'm nominating you today, now, of course, people at home can't see this, so I'm going to show you a little bit of something. Now, there's a thing that I wanted to do with today's episode, at least for one of my nominations, is I'm Vietnamese, and the Vietnamese community has been wronged by not having fast food available in Canada, in North America. These people here has institutionalized the Vietnamese sub called banh mi into a fast food powerhouse that also sells bao as well. You probably have steamed bao before, like Korean bao. So not only do you have the Vietnamese sub, you have Korean bao. Now, if you look at that Instagram account and look through all of these tasty morsels here, you're going to see that these things look good. And can you get them fast? Yes. Are there multiple locations? Yes. Does it taste delicious? Absolutely.
Tuong.
Yes.
I do have one minor concern about this.
Okay, go for it.
In terms of how regional and local it is.
Yep.
I am not someone who wants to be a stickler about like this. So here's the thing. I'm going to preface what I'm about to say by saying that if a chain just has to have the option of like franchising, they do fit that, right? They do theoretically. I could open a Banh Mi Boys in Montreal if I wanted to.
Yep.
I mean, I'd have to get past Quebec's language laws, which we're not going to talk about today or I'll get mad. But it's theoretically an option. At the moment, 2 of the 3 locations are on the same street, my dear.
Yes.
Like,
I know what you're saying.
Two of them are on Yonge Street.
Yonge Street is huge, Tom.
Yeah, but like,
it is
dude.
huge. It is huge.
It's like when people ask me if there's any Wendy's in Montreal, and I'm like, yeah, there's 2. And they're like, okay, but are there any that aren't on DeCarey? No.
How much are we getting into it in this phase? Should we
don't get into it yet?
Okay.
I understand the concern about it. I just want to show you a little spice of something new that isn't what you'd expect right away from a fast food chain's list. It fits the bill. I personally think it fits the bill. I understand that it's not something that you guys in the States can get to right away, but it's something you can look forward to when you come to Canada. And
I just feel like you're burning a nom here.
What's that?
I feel like you're burning a nom here.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But we can argue about it later. I understand there's some. Let me before I let you guys go here to the next nomination, I'm going to read some options that they have. Lemongrass tofu, grilled chicken, grilled pork, Kalbi beef. We got some pork belly fried chicken, some of the most famous for this location, kimchi fries. If you like kimchi, there's kimchi fries. There's a bunch of stuff.
For this location was really doing a lot of the work for me.
Some heavy lifting.
I'm saying that because you guys are already like, well, Tuong, this is not what I signed up for today. And I'm telling you, I want you to open your minds a little bit, okay?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Tom.
I mean, listen, I'm scrolling through this Instagram. It looks delicious.
Yeah.
I would very much like to go to Banh Mi Boys.
Yep.
I'm not saying that I would not, however. We're not getting into it in this round, but however.
We'll not get into it right now.
I think, though, as part of a ground rule in my mind is like, if it fits the criteria, then I really don't think just because it's bigger and that it's been in more locations necessarily makes it a better choice. That's what I feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tom,
We'll get into it.
what do you think?
I think it's super valid nom. I just feel like you're sacrificing a spot in the top 5 for your own potential noms to get to. You
Tom,
know what I mean?
I've done 134 episodes of Ranked. I burned a lot of nominations, okay, buddy?
Fair enough. I had an improv teacher tell me once you're going to do 1,000 bad scenes in your life, so you might as well start now.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to equate it to that because then you say this is a bad nomination, which I disagree with. So let's go ahead and go with yours.
All right. My first nomination is objectively a bad nomination, but I am contractually obligated to nominate Burger King. Burger King is a royalty of the fast food genre. Burger King is, of course, a burger restaurant franchise, and I have done commercials for them. Beyond that, I also enjoy their burgers quite a bit. I like that they're flame grilled. I like that they're a fairly large patty on a fairly large bun.
Is Burger King paying you right now?
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah,
you're
If
what
Burger
reading a
King's
script.
paying you, you have to tell us. It's like being a cop.
Burger King is not paying me in this specific moment to tell you to eat at Burger King, but I do like Burger King a lot. So there's my first nom. Is
What
Burger
do you?
King.
Sorry, what's your favorite thing about Burger King? What? Sell me on Burger King, because I think Burger King is just fine, which I'll get
Yeah,
into.
okay. I'll sell you on Burger King. So nowhere else will you get the patty that tastes flame grilled in the same way as the Burger King patty. Nowhere else will you get the bun that is the same consistency as the Burger King bun. Nowhere else will you get a 100% white meat seasoned filet chicken breast sandwich, crispy, spicy as an option on a delicious potato bread bun, like at the Burger King. It's there in the name, folks. It is the king of burger. And also, it's good.
Okay, that's a compelling argument. That seems like you had a gun to your head by this scary mascot from Burger King. The most frightening mascot of all time, possibly.
I think for me it comes down to, like, they craft a burger that is exactly perfect for what I want when I'm getting a burger. The size is good. Like, they deserve to call it a king because of the size of burger that they give you. Like, it's like twice the size of a McDonald's burger, you know, and not twice the price. And it's like, you know, the toppings are there and the condiments are there and they're all there in the right quantities for me to where it feels like a perfect fast food burger.
Okay, all
And
right.
they live up to their name in that respect, you know? And also, just putting it out there, were any other fast food burger chains represented in PlayStation video games in the 2000s?
It's very
You
true.
know,
That's
Yeah.
You
Burger King wasn't. It was Xbox, nerd.
Oh, well, listen, I'm a
yeah, it
Nintendo
was
kid.
Xbox.
Yeah.
yeah.
The great classic Sneak King. We all know and love that game.
Yeah.
Look,
Pocket
Doritos
Racer.
also had a kart racing game as well, and Doritos isn't on this list here.
Not yet.
Not yet. Doritos, the fast
the-
food chain.
Classic
I would
Doritos
like to go to
restaurant.
Doritos, the
You
restaurant.
know what? I would go to that too.
I would do it.
May I
love
introduce you to
Doritos.
Taco Bell?
Oh no. We'll go with Matt. Matt, what is your first nomination?
Well, Tom, how interesting that you would say that you would introduce me to Taco Bell, because I came here to die on one hill and one hill alone.
No way.
And it is that this list cannot be made. This unholy contract cannot be sewn without the inclusion of Taco Bell. My nomination for this round is Taco Bell.
Wow. You went there.
Huge.
I went there, and I will not leave. I will not
They
leave.
keep asking, and you refuse.
Legally, they
Here's
can't
the
kick
thing.
you out
Yeah,
of Taco Bell.
tell me
if
the
you
thing
keep
about Taco
buying
Bell.
food.
Yeah, so when it comes to fast food, and I'll recall back to what I said at the beginning, we're all around the same age. We've all been in that point in our life where, like, we're fueled by fast food. Okay, when it comes to fast food, you're not always looking for quality. Sometimes you're looking for quantity and price, and there is no fast food restaurant, not a single one, that can match what Taco Bell can do in quantity and price. Straight up. And the other thing about Taco Bell, and this is what I really want to tie my horse to, jokes aside, is that Taco Bell is always Taco Bell. I've been to Burger King and gotten a Whopper that's like, oh man, they missed the bill on that Whopper. Taco Bell is exclusively Taco Bell. It plateaus at a single plane. It does not move. It is Taco Bell. And you can get a whole lot of food for not a lot of money. Every other restaurant has done away with the dollar menu. Taco Bell says no. Taco Bell still has, from what I can see, at least 3 items that only cost straight up $1 in Ohio, in the United States, where my website is set, because I don't know about anywhere else. But what I'm saying is that fast food, not always about quality, sometimes about quantity and price. And Taco Bell has quantity and priced me alive for like the last 7 years.
I used to have a huge Taco Bell phase in my life. I'm actually retired from Taco Bell, so it'll be really interesting to talk about this. I've retired from it. We can get into it, but it was a very, very, very important part of my life for a long time. It was debatably my entire personal brand for like 10 years. So
Wow.
I think it's important that it's in the conversation. I'm very excited to talk about it more. I used to love it. Again, have retired, but Well, we'll get there.
I'm a big fan of Taco Bell. So for the longest time, there was only one Taco Bell in Montreal, and it was a combination Taco Bell KFC at the very end of a subway line next door to a McDonald's. Like, it was you had to take a journey to get there. But it is, to this day, the only restaurant that I have gone to and purchased 100 of something to bring to a party. And like, that ruled. Like, we bought 100 tacos. I didn't buy it all by myself. I was with some people. We bought 100 tacos to bring to like a movie night.
And it cost you $20.
Basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly it did.
Yeah. And that, like, you can't rank that experience, frankly.
I'm sure we can. We kind of are contracted to have to rank the experience.
Yeah, the entire reason that we're here actually is to rank it. So you better be able to rank it.
Yeah, that's
Taco
true.
Bell, great nomination. I have so much to say, but we'll save it for the second round. I feel like that's a lot of our conversation is like, yeah, great nom, but I'm gonna fucking we'll talk about it. Giovanni, what do you have as your first nomination?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with one of my ones that might be controversial, just in terms of definition, just to get it out of the way.
Oh, interesting. The stickler for the rules has trying to monkey wrench.
But I think it's very correct. I think y'all are going to be like, I don't know about that, and then I'm going to convince you that actually it is completely correct. But actually, I think maybe we'll all agree, and it'll be fine.
Okay.
Matt, in saying what you said about like, hey, it's not actually about good food; it's about the low price and quantity. I actually think you can have both, and I think my first nominee hits that, and it is, folks, Dunkin' Donuts.
Hell yeah!
We have to count as fast food. I know that it doesn't sound like it because
that's weird.
Think of
Why
Dunkin'
would
Donuts?
To me, it is fast food.
That's what I feel
it's weird
too.
to me that why wouldn't people think it's fast food?
I feel like the fact that it's donuts. I feel like people associate fast food with like grease and like burgers and all of this stuff. So I wasn't sure if that was going to be this crowd, but obviously it's fast food, right? You go to a counter, you order, you can get breakfast sandwiches. I think maybe people who associate it more with like it's just a coffee joint, are kind of like, well,
no,
that's not.
Those are wrong
but
people. Yeah,
exactly. I also just think it's important to get a breakfast joint on this list. I don't think there's like a ton of them, so I think that is important to have in the conversation. And I am going to call it Dunkin' Donuts and not Dunkin' because I'm not a monster. So I
is that its new name?
It is officially called Dunkin', just Dunkin', because they want you to know that there's more than donuts at Dunkin', and it's like we knew that. It's fine.
That's true.
Dunkin' Donuts also means a lot to me. I grew up in Massachusetts. Dunkin' Donuts is a huge part of that experience there. Anytime I have to travel somewhere that doesn't really have them as much, as soon as I come back, to New York or back when I was in Massachusetts, first thing you do is you go to a Dunkin' Donuts. Very important part of the culture there. I would argue that this could make a run for the top, but that's my first nominee.
So I'm not sure if you know this, but I've had Dunkin' Donuts many, many times, but it doesn't exist in Canada, really.
Right.
So it's not a staple to our culture, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
So even though I like Dunkin' Donuts, I probably don't have the affinity for it to
Totally.
We'll see. I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
It's
have
a
our
very
own
cultural thing in parts of America. And I feel like there are parts of America where you go to it and they're like, I don't know why people are crazy about this place. Especially in the Northeast, it is like an institution in a way that no other fast food chain is, I think, anywhere. I mean, I don't think that there's any part of the world that like has an affinity for Burger King in the way that like the Northeast entirely of of North America has like a culture and like ritual around Dunkin' Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And on the Canada thing, I will say there was a point in time when Quebec specifically had like over 200 Dunkin' Donuts locations.
Yeah,
which
but
makes
Quebec's
sense because
weird.
we're like right across the border from upstate New York.
Yeah.
I think the last one was in Montreal and died in like 2018 or something.
Did Tim Horton himself come and choke out the manager?
That's right.
No, I mean, it's the whole thing where like operating in Quebec is a hot mess for brands that aren't French.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Dunkin' Donuts, too white is what we're getting at here.
That's fine.
Let's go into round two over here. Round two. It's an interesting group of people here today because my normal set of nominations that would usually fit the bill, I just feel like causing chaos today. But I'm not going to go crazy for my second nomination. I don't want to lose all the respect that I got from Matt and Giovanni in our first 10 minutes together here. So let's talk about a favorite of mine that doesn't exist in Canada but is popular in the States. One that has swept the nation. I don't know if that's true. Let's go ahead and say it's swept the nation of what fast food can be, and it elevates burgers specifically to a new level. So I'm talking about one of my favorite places to go to in New York, but I know it exists in a bunch of different places, is Shake Shack.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, not what I was expecting, but okay.
Great pick.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank God.
solid.
I won some respect back.
You're good. Don't worry. Yeah, you you earned it back. I mean, Banh Mi boys, like, buy, but like Shake Shack.
No. Don't buy Banh Mi boys. Next time you're in Canada, I'm gonna stick a bow right in your mouth, watch you eat it.
Yeah, I'll go on a geocaching treasure chest to find the one Banh Mi boys.
No. There is 4 or 5 of them, so get out of here.
You really just have to find that one street, and then they're all right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Shake Shack. Let me tell you, Shake Shack, I remember going to New York quite a handful of years ago, and my partner was like, Shake Shack. And I'm like, what's the deal with Shake Shack? Why are people crazy about Shake Shack? And then you go to it, and there's a huge freaking line. I'm not sure what it's like these days, but it seemed like quite a thing. It seemed like it was more than just lining up at your typical fast food joint. And then looking into it more, it's because they up the ante of what fast food is. They care about the experience, the food quality, the hospitality. I think they serve beer there and drinks there. They have a secret menu, and their food is made to order. So they're cooking it on the spot, and you're watching them do it rather than just a bunch of frozen ingredients and they're just heating it up again. And when you look at the Shake Shack menu, they just look so good. There's a bourbon bacon cheddar burger. There's a smoke shack. We got this shack stack, which is just giant ass burger that's filled with patties, and you just want to just crunch right into it. And also, it's just the crinkle cut fries. I'm a big fry person, so if you get a good fry in there to go with your burger, then Shake Shack. That's my nomination.
Yeah, I'm glad you nominated this, because I thought about putting it on the list, but I was kind of like, I can't be the New Yorker who does this. It's like I just can't be like the regional champion for it. Shake Shack is fantastic, and folks who haven't been to an area that has it, I don't think it's just in New York. I think it's expanded at this point.
We have them now.
Yeah. So, for folks who haven't had them yet for any reason, it really does bridge the gap between, restaurant and fast food. It is still a fast food place, but it really feels like you're getting, a restaurant quality kind of burger and experience. So, yeah, I think it's a great pick. It's also an interesting one because there is, a heated debate in, New York versus LA lore of Shake Shack versus In-N-Out Burger, and there's no contest. It's actually not a debate. It's just Shake Shack is better, but people from LA have to be we have something, and it's
that's
no,
some
it's fine.
Tupac and Biggie shit, man.
It is.
You're spitting words.
It's really intense. No, but they have. I mean, LA has plenty of other stuff, but the conversation about In-N-Out versus Shake Shack is actually a joke. If you think that In-N-Out is better
Shake
than
Shack and In-N-Out Burger gotta just do a rap battle and see who actually goes up on top.
Shake Shack would still crush.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
They have shakes.
We
In-N-Out
didn't even talk about the shakes in Shake Shack.
Yeah.
They have shakes. They're great. Anyways. Tom, what do you got?
All right, folks. We've been talking about a lot of greasy options today. We've been talking about a lot of options that are fast, that are food, that are chains, that are good for eating when you're naked and want to get grease all over you. But I want to bring to you today for my second nomination an option that maybe is a little bit more on the fresh side of things. I want to encourage you folks today to consider the humble sandwich. Consider the humble submarine.
Tom. Yes, Tom.
Consider, whatever you call it in the place where you live, consider the option of slicing a loaf of bread most of the way through in half, but not all the way, putting a whole lot of stuff inside it of your choosing, toasting it optionally with cheese optionally as well, and getting that trio with a beverage and macadamia nut cookies. And I want you to consider the possibility that you can get all that for $5 maybe 15 years ago. Guys, I want to encourage you today to eat fresh, and I want to nominate Subway as my second nomination, because Subway's good. And
It is
sometimes
good.
you just want something that you know is going to be fine. Like, sometimes you want to go when you're in a food court and you're like, oh shit, there's a lot of food court options. How do I want to feel today? You're never going to feel bad after Subway. You're going to feel
right.
fine, and you're going to have a good time because you get to choose. Nowhere else do you get to choose thing by thing and piss off a service clerk more than when you go to Subway and you stand there and you're like, I guess tomatoes.
You don't have your order down like from memory. For me, when I go in, there's no hesitation. I'm like, I have an order.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm supposed to like. We can get into this, but I don't know if I'm supposed to just rattle off my entire order in one go, or like wait so that they have time to like process. You know,
I think the polite thing to do is to wait a little bit. Like, you give it a beat. Like, if you're like want specific things, unless you're saying I want everything on this sub, then you got to give them like 3, and then give them another 3. You know,
sure,
That's exactly right. That's the
maybe
idea.
you do the rock band approaching notes approach, where like as they're playing tomato, you're saying olive, so they know to go to olive next.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely, you
100%,
want to do it.
100%.
Yeah.
So what's everyone's
Phenomenal
go-to
metaphor,
sub?
by the way.
I was like, we're all of a certain age where we remember the Burger King video games and enjoy Taco Bell and Mountain Dew. Probably, if I say rock band, you guys will know what I'm talking about.
I'm an Italian BMT on Italian urban cheese. I know that is a cliche because my name is Giovanni, but it's a great sandwich. I get some black olives on it. I'm just making this worse for myself. I get black olives on it, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, onion, green peppers. Just the whole works. It's a great sandwich.
Perfect
Great.
sandwich, frankly.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
We used to, in my first year of university, the freshman 15, it's a real thing. There was a Subway in the food court, and that was a very novel thing when you graduate from high school. You're like, what the hell? Like, there's a fast food chain at the school that I go to, and at lunchtime or wherever between classes, I can just get whatever I want every single day. I would get Subway or pizza, and my Subway order, just by memory, was footlong. Obviously, footlong. You got to go footlong. Meatball marinara, because it's the cheapest, but also you get meatballs on honey oat, and then you just get basically the works of all of the toppings, plus Southwest sauce, because I think Southwest sauce is the best.
Do you guys remember way back in the old days, in the era of the $5 footlong, do you guys remember that the Subway Feast used to exist? Did y'all ever have a Subway Feast?
What's that? What is that?
Vaguely.
So the Subway Feast was when Subway decided to enter the fast food gimmick game, and they said, we'll make a sandwich with everything, just order the feast. It was $13, and it had every single protein available.
Amazing.
And a whole bunch of veggies. And every time you ordered the Subway Feast, the Subway sandwich artist would look at you like they could murder you today, and they would feel nothing. And I only ate a feast once, but it was one of the wildest experiences of my entire life. Truly
Wow.
a fast food moment lost to the mid-2000s.
Wow. That's
Incredible.
That does sound incredible. Let's move on. Before we do, I thought you were going to be like, hey, do you remember Jared from Subway? I thought that's where you were going, and I'm like, oh no.
Look, we don't talk about Jared. No.
That's gonna play
He's in
into
the same folder as
deliberation.
That will
Bruno.
definitely play into the deliberations later. That's how we knock down
absolutely.
Subway.
It's gonna get used. If somebody really wanted to knock it down, they'd be like, number one, I don't know, that guy went to jail for crimes.
Jared is bad news, everyone.
Who among us hasn't gone to jail for crimes? Come on.
That's true. That's a good
Not those crimes. Okay.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you got as your second nomination?
Yeah, so I am here to continue my existence as an absolute trash goblin. But there are not many hype trains that I consider myself a full travel pass holder of. However, there is one. There is one hype train that I have hopped on so hard I never got off of it, and I will never get off of it. And even before the COVID-19 pandemic, I was like, this food is what I've been missing in my life. And it's born in the American South and has been bastardized all over the American North, but it does have the best chicken sandwich known to man. I'm throwing Popeyes into the ring.
Yes, you are.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
Hell
Yes.
yeah, that was my next one. Thanks,
And
man.
I'm throwing Popeyes into the ring not only because of A, their phenomenal chicken sandwiches, B, the fact that it's the only place you can order quality chicken tenders that have good breading and are not greasy. You can also always trust the shrimp from Popeyes. I don't know where they flash freeze and fly that shit in from, but it's safe no matter where you are. I've eaten Popeyes in a lot of landlocked states. And most importantly, Popeyes has red beans and rice as a side option. And I firmly believe that there is no fast food side, not a single one, better than the Popeyes red beans and rice.
All right. Popeyes, Tom, Giovanni, Popeyes, how do you feel?
I'll just say my experience with Popeyes, a lot of these places have like a significance for me. Like Subway has a big significance for me and my friends at home. But Popeyes was actually one where my roommates in New York, when I first moved here, when we were living together, we had like a thing where anytime somebody got a new job, they had to buy everyone Popeyes. That was like our celebration. It was like, oh, we all get together and we all like eat Popeyes, and the person that got the money is going to give everyone Popeyes, right?
That rules.
Yeah, it was great. So I feel very fondly about Popeyes as a concept, and I'll leave it at that. And we can get to
As a concept, okay.
Yeah.
The concept
teaser.
of fried chicken.
Yeah.
Love it. I think for me, like, Popeyes is... So Popeyes does not exist in Quebec yet because of the aforementioned language laws, but it sure does exist in Ontario. So every time I'm in Tuong's neck of the woods, I have to pop out and get some Popeyes, and it hasn't let me down yet. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, it's an interesting nomination because I've had Popeyes before, but it's never... I just feel like it popped up. Maybe I wasn't aware of it, but I felt like it popped up in Ontario a little too late for me, in the way that it was just like, oh, as I get older, I'm just naturally not eating as much fast food, even though I want to. But I've been told by society and the man that I'm not supposed to waste my money on this. And instead I should be eating, I don't know, the freaking keto diet or whatever. I don't know. I don't do the
Listen,
keto.
Popeyes is anti-fascist.
That's right.
True.
Staunchly Antifa.
I'm going to go, you know what? I'll have some Popeyes this weekend. Just for you guys.
There it is.
Giovanni, what do you have as your second nomination?
I'm pulling some real audibles on this. I'm changing my list up like a lot as we go for various reasons. I want to do this just to add some spice into the mix, to really get spicy in the nomination round. And spice is a really great word to set this up, because I want to pull in the competitor to Popeyes.
Oh boy,
Kentucky
all
Fried
11
Chicken.
of them.
KFC, we'll say.
Whoa.
Yeah, because they can't legally call themselves Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore.
Is that why? I've never really put that together.
Yep.
Not really fried in Kentucky, I guess. KFC and Popeyes, I think, are very similar, and that's why I kind of want to bring both of them in, because I think we would be remiss to not at least have the conversation about which one does it better. And we'll get into, I think, which one does it better. Personally, I do think that Popeyes' formula for their like spices that they put in their chicken is better. I think Popeyes has other strengths than KFC, but the other thing is KFC's got that lava cake. It's very good. They got the bucket.
It is very good.
The bucket's just iconic, and I think we haven't really talked about that, but like being iconic, I think, is an important part to a fast food chain in some way. I think like the
I think it can win
iconography-
at points. I think it can win at points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like when I think fast food, like I want something where I see the logo and I'm like, oh, there's that thing. Like, I don't want to have to be like, oh, is that a Checkers? Like, what do they do again? You know what I mean? Like, I really want to like know it and know that there's like a seal of I won't say quality, but a seal of consistency with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you say?
I'll know what I get. And also, I'm a big mashed potatoes guy in life, and like,
Yeah.
the mashed potatoes, I mean, it's a good side. They got good sides.
They are good. They're good sides.
Listen,
And, I mean, it's an important institution. I used to live near a KFC that had bulletproof glass between you and the orderer, or between you and the cashier. And
Jesus
people
Christ.
take Popeye, people take KFC seriously. You know, it's an institution.
Yeah.
yeah, look, I have nothing but fond memories growing up on KFC. We had a KFC near our house, and my dad's like, Tuesday is the best day because Toonie Tuesday hits around and you get like what? You get fries, you get chicken, and all in this little box that you can just give to your kids and it'll feed them, and it's perfect, a perfect amount of food.
The experience, I gotta say, like, of all of these restaurants, the experience of actually eating KFC, like the presentation of it, either in the bucket or the boxes or whatever, is like very memorable. Like, especially if you get that bucket of chicken for like the family, like it's such a fun experience to actually eat KFC from that. And I think that's something that hasn't really come up in this conversation yet. The experience of the fast food, and like actually eating it and how fun it is to do that. There are other places that I think do that well, but I think KFC is the only one that like actually has the taste to match it. So I'll put that forward.
Have you got a bucket of skin yet, Giovanni? You seem like a skin freak of just KFC skin.
I'm a real skin freak. Yeah,
just looking at you, you're just...
That's a term I use to describe myself a lot to normal human beings, as I say, I'm a skin freak.
I'm a skin freak from KFC. Just love it.
Love it.
Anyways, let's go to round 3 with that thought in our mind. And you know what? I've been looking at my list, and I have some really great picks that I really want to nominate. But at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and say the thing because I think we'd be remiss, as much as I want to avoid it. We need to have the discussion in the second round of the show. So let's go ahead, pull the Band-Aid off. It is round 3 after all, and nominate the most obvious thing, the Golden Arches themselves. Of course, we have to talk about McDonald's in the second round. We have to.
I
agree.
Hard agree.
By law, we have to.
100%.
Yeah. It's... To me, I struggle as host on these shows sometimes because sometimes we look at a list and you're like, you already know what number 1 could be, in theory. I like to shake things up a little bit. But, again, we'd be remiss not to talk about this because when I think about fast food and when I go out driving and I'm craving fast food, I'll be honest, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, I want McDonald's.
I 100% agree. It has to be in the conversation. I mean, I like it. I genuinely like McDonald's. I like it is a guilty pleasure, and I understand that. But like, I get a double quarter pounder with cheese, and those fries are really good.
Fries are really good.
I like the fries a lot. Well, I won't compare it yet, but
don't compare it yet.
There are things that it does better than other places of similar quality, and things that it doesn't do as well. So this will be a really interesting discussion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I will say that I have lived a significant portion of my life being a Diet Coke from McDonald's a day kind of guy. I think that McDonald's was on my list of things to nominate today, and I think that McDonald's earned its place on that list by its drink fountain alone. I'm not saying there aren't other positives to McDonald's, but the power of McDonald's Diet Coke and McDonald's Sprite are like both halves of the Wonder Twins. It's just, there's something special there.
100%. Yeah, I know I rallied hard for Burger King earlier under contractual obligations and also slight allegiance, but I'm a big fan of McDonald's. I don't think there's anyone but McDonald's who can feed my entire family for $40, you know?
I have other feelings about that, but we can talk about it next round.
In the same, $40 after the Uber Eats fees, even, it is the cheapest option still somehow, despite not being as cheap as it used to be. And when you can get a toy for the kid in addition to the food,
that's where Taco Bell. I know you're saying this Taco Bell is cheaper, and it is cheaper, but you don't get that toy.
You don't get a toy. There is toy value. There is legitimate toy value.
You want that ugly Sonic? You get a Happy Meal.
Listen, the thing about the ugly Sonic toys is that I was trying real hard to get a Sonic because there was a genuinely ugly Sonic that they had in the most recent Happy Meals thing, and this is maybe going to date this recording. And we got Knuckles, who was ugly, very good ugly Knuckles. We got Supersonic, who was ugly. We got an Eggman robot thing that was like, I don't know if it was ugly or not because I haven't seen the movie yet. And we got genuinely 6 separate Tails.
That's great. Everyone loves Tails.
Great. Everyone loves Tails.
That's a total of 12 Tails in my house.
Wow.
Between the 6 of them. It's a lot of Tails.
My final question to the group before we move on from McDonald's is, if you were to take a bite out of Grimace, what would it taste like?
Wow.
Grape for sure. Grape.
Yeah. I think I feel that too. Like a grape popsicle,
Yeah, like not real grapes, but grape flavor.
Grape flavor,
yeah.
100%.
Okay. I think that's totally.
But like the texture of meat, I assume, is what you're going.
Yes.
Yeah?
I think he is a chicken nugget textured creature that tastes like grape flavor.
I've always thought of him as furry. I feel like
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I figured if I ate Grimace, it would be like moose, like not the animal moose, but the dessert moose.
I love Well, I love you setting that up as if this is something you've thought about a lot, like for a long time. Where you're like, I've
not
always
saying
thought
that it
that
isn't.
if I ate Grimace, this would happen.
Yeah, I thought I was asking like an interesting question, but it sounds like everybody has thought about this before. So
That's weird.
yeah, that's a strange thing. We all want to eat Grimace. That's what I'm saying. Let's move on. Nobody wants to eat Ronald McDonald. He's a little too much of a wild card.
For yourself.
Yeah. Tom, final nomination. What do you got?
This is hard because, like, a bunch of my noms got nommed, which is nice. That helps a lot. It turns out Matt and I feel the same about most food. But so now I'm like, my top 4 are already in there already. And I'm like stuck here because I don't know who to nominate out of my like next 4, you know? So I'm going to do something to add a little variety here to make things interesting. And I am going to nominate someone based not solely on their food, but on their contributions to food technology and to food innovation. My final nomination tonight is a franchise with locations all throughout the United States and Canada that provides you with delivery. You don't really go buy a slice of pizza from this place. Spoilers, it's a pizza place. So we're getting a pizza place here as well. But they provide you with a tracker for your pizza, which is not something that other delivery places were doing prior to Domino's. Domino's Pizza is, in my mind, the gold standard for delivery experiences, in that you can order entirely online. You can have them bring it to your door. In some locations, you can pay online too. I don't have that option, unfortunately. But you can theoretically pay online. You can have an entirely interaction-free pizza delivery system delivered to your house with a full tracker that tells you what process of the pizza making you are in. And that's on top of the pizza being pretty good and having a shitload of options and like the price being fine. Like, it's not, you know, the cheapest pizza in the world, but it's certainly way less expensive than the bougie places that are in my neighborhood too. And like, you know, I'm never going to have a mind-blowing Domino's pizza experience except for when I occasionally break, like, there's like a layer of like meta ordering that you can do where you get like an incredible pizza, but then once you've had it, you're like, okay, well, now what, right? But you will always be satisfied. There will often be leftovers, and the customizability of the whole thing, like, look, it is the mecca of pizza delivery places. And I think it counts as fast food chains because it was on the
100%.
list of international fast food
question.
chains on Wikipedia.
Definitely no question about that.
I think this is a great nominee. It was one that I had been thinking about a lot. Because I was also thinking of, like, it feels like a pizza place should be in this conversation. I do want to point out that Domino's is not pizza, which is fine. It's not a bad thing.
Here we go.
When I order pizza, like, when I'm thinking of ordering pizza, I'm never like, I'm going to get Domino's. When I get Domino's, I'm like, yeah, I want to order Domino's. Because whatever they're making, it sure as hell isn't pizza, but I love it. I love whatever they've created. But that is a beast unto its own. I would consider Domino's its own food that is separate from pizza, but like vaguely, like a rectangle is a square, but a square is not a rectangle situation. That's how I feel about Domino's. I don't mean that as a knock. I actually mean it as a compliment. I think it's a very unique experience. But the level of grease, that they have found a way to include in the pizza is really like they invented another planet and they like tried to learn what pizza was from our planet with having no instructions, and they were like, we're gonna dunk something in a tank of grease, and is that pizza? Like, I love it. I love Domino's. I will not call it pizza, and I think that's its charm.
Fair, yeah.
I gotta say, Domino's earned a lot of cred for me. I don't remember exactly when it was, 6 or 7 years ago now probably, when they basically put out a press release and said, listen, we know our pizza's been pretty shitty, but we changed our recipe, and after they changed their recipe, it actually got better. And for a restaurant to own up to the fact, they're like, listen, we've been dogging it for like 7 to 10, but we're going to flip it around now. There's legitimacy there.
The little tangent here. This reminds me when Tim Hortons, and I don't think that'll be the final nomination here, so I'll just talk about it. Just not very long ago, I think within the year, they're like, guys, we're gonna use real eggs. And we're like, what? What was happening? what was happening before? And it was all over their marketing. They're like, you get a fresh cracked egg for your breakfast sandwiches from now on. And I'm like, I mean, that's great, but like, what?
What have you been using?
This is so wild because the number of fucking poultry farms in Canada is pretty big. Like, there was no reason that they shouldn't have been using fresh eggs.
Yes.
But then they one-upped themselves last year when, in addition to this, like, fresh eggs now thing, had a whole ad campaign around their coffee tasting good now, where they got people to taste their coffee like on the street or whatever and filmed it, and every single person was like, wait, this is Tim Hortons? Or, wow, this is really good, where's this from? Every single person drinking it was genuinely surprised that the coffee tasted good, and it was like, wait, this is a real good coffee from Tim Hortons. They had a whole ad campaign like this because they know their coffee is bad.
I love it.
Amazing.
It is amazing. And that's why, to your point, Matt, it's amazing when fast food chains are like, they just turn it around, baby. And you're like, you know what? It's good now.
Yeah.
Domino's is a great nomination. I have much to say about Domino's, but I'll save it for later. Matt, go ahead and say your final nomination.
Yeah, so I also came here today with a large list and a lot of things to talk about, and I've had a hard time picking what's going to be my last one. And I decided that I also needed a chaotic pick, and this is going to be it. And it is a little bit more regional, so I'm not sure how many of you will have experienced this place, but it is much more regional than just where I am. Like, where I am in Ohio just got these. However, they have swept the entire eastern and most of the southern half of the United States. I don't know that they're in Canada. I do not think that they are. However, imagine with me, if you will, a place that you could go and both fill up your tummy with food and also fill up your car with gas. It is a gas station. It's called Sheetz. I'm here to talk about Sheetz today.
How do you spell that?
Sheetz.
Oh, of course. All right, great. I love a corporation that throws a Z at the end. Continue.
Yeah, so, okay, here's the thing about Sheetz, right? I grew up in the Pittsburgh area where Sheetz really popped off. Western Pennsylvania is like Sheetz ground zero. And what Sheetz is a gas station and convenience store, but they also have made-to-order food. And they were like the first place to start using these made-to-order screens where you went into the gas station and picked out all the things you wanted, and they just did it for you and handed you a bag and said, stick it in your fat face, loser. You just bought food from a gas station. And we said, okay. And it's amazing. It's really good. And specifically, I'd like to point you to one thing, and it's what every person who has ever been to Sheetz knows is the best thing you can get there. It is the fried appetizer sampler. The fried app samp, as we call it. It is the ideal fast food ordering experience. And I think just to kind of prove my point here, maybe we can create a little fast food fried app samp together so that you hear all of the amazing things that you can get at this gas station, because it's really important. So I'm vamping while the Sheetz website loads, and I'm vamping fried appetizer.
Really ooh, wow.
Oh boy, I wasn't ready for this. App sampler.
God.
All right, okay. So choose your first app. We've got Wisconsin cheese bites, mac and cheese bites, mozzarella sticks, tots, jalapeno poppers, boneless chicken wings, and pickle chips. You pick one of those, and then, get this, you pick two more of those. And it's amazing. You get all three of those things in one container.
How much?
How much does it cost? $6.
Holy crap. And is it sizable?
Wow. Yeah, you get 3 of each thing, so 9 things in total.
And they're like big, yeah, okay.
Go to any other restaurant and order 9 mozzarella sticks for $6. They're going to laugh at you, unless it's a dive bar. And you don't know where those mozzarella sticks have been. This is a gas station. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, that rules, honestly.
I just want to make sure I'm thinking of the right Sheetz. You mean the convenience store Sheetz?
Yes, the one.
You're talking about the convenience store.
That is also a gas station. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just want to make sure that we're all on the same page that this is a convenience store as we go into to round 2.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry. You did say yes several times. To the term
I did, and
store.
I'm not going to take it back. And I know this is round 2 talk. However, Walmart has restaurants in it. Walmart convenience store. McDonald's still fast food restaurant. Shimmy shoulders on audio medium.
Because it says sheets made to go, right? That seems like their restaurant umbrella, and then they have a bakery to go, and then they have their gas station, and then they have their It's like a powerhouse Sheets here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just talking about the made to order. I'm not even bringing up Schmuffins.
Okay, fine.
I'm finding out here on their website
this is great.
that they're committed to inclusive and equitable culture in their workplaces and have diversity, equity, and accessibility in their corporate strategy.
I think this is great because we need something that we're gonna be able to cut really easily from the list. So,
I love this type of
talk. It just makes the conversation that much shorter. So
all right, what bodega do you want to nominate, G?
I mean, do you want to put 7-Eleven on the list? God. Which one? Pick one. Do you want Wawa? You want to get New Jersey Regional? This is hard because obviously I think the best ones have been taken at this point. I was going to nominate Five Guys, but I will say that since Shake Shack is in the conversation, I think it's kind of irrelevant to put Five Guys in here. And also, do we need a 4th burger chain in here? I think I'm going to do what Tom did and just kind of bring something in for the sake of just having it in the conversation because I think it's important to just have the full breadth of what fast food can entail. And that is that we haven't talked about ice cream chains.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I think counts as fast food.
I agree.
Depending on what the ice cream chain is, hard to pick one. I will say I'm not as versed in all of them, so I'm kind of open to
suggestions.
No, you give us whatever your heart is. Okay. You give us what your heart is.
Then my nomination here, just because it is one of the biggest ones and it is one of the ones that is most readily available to me, is Baskin Robbins.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
If I had Dairy Queen more in my life, it would probably be Dairy Queen, but I've really never had much Dairy Queen. And again, I do think it's good to have things that we can cut off this list immediately in the conversation.
No, don't. You don't have to. Baskin Robbins is great.
Baskin Robbins is great. Lots of ice cream flavors. I get
31 in fact.
Milkshake. Yeah, 31. I get milkshakes from it all the time, which is great. I think the ice cream's pretty good. I like it. And most importantly, it's often attached to Dunkin' Donuts restaurants. So by proxy, really, really good. Really good in that. And also the cakes and you can get a Polar Pizza at Baskin Robbins. You ever had the Polar Pizza? It'll fucking ruin your life. It'll eat you out of house and home. Wow. And that's why Baskin Robbins is on this list.
In a bad way or a great way?
You can interpret that however you want.
Okay.
That's between you and your God.
Okay.
For me, Baskin Robbins is my pick because my list has everything crossed off.
I can't tell you how close I came to nominating Dairy Queen. So I got real hyped when you said ice cream.
I know.
And then you went Baskin Robbins, Giovanni.
I could kind of see in your face that you expected, which is why I was kind of like, if someone wants to say Dairy Queen, I'm fine with that. But realistically, I just haven't had it enough, and I know I would like it more. And I know that it's got the flurry. But
yeah.
And
is that what I'll be honest though, I'm glad you did Baskin Robbins. Dairy Queen is great for the ice cream, but in the last decade or so, they opened up the hot food section of Dairy Queen.
I will fight you.
And you should, because when I had it, I'll say it was probably a decade ago, it destroyed my butthole. And I was never the same afterwards.
Look, if we're going on butthole destroying for this ranking, then this is going to be a hard discussion.
Yeah, we got to cut a lot of these if we're talking about our
hell. Not to be crass, but there's the good hurt and the bad hurt.
Listen.
The hurt that's worth it.
Dairy Queen's the only place with chili cheese dogs on this list.
Okay, Sonic.
Do you guys not have Sonic in Canada?
We don't have that.
Oh, on this list. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Then I'll take a step back.
Yeah. I mean, wait, hold up. The hedgehog?
Sonic the Hedgehog also eats chili. Sonic the Hedgehog also eats chili dogs, and then that's also available at Sonic.
Yeah, that's chili dogs is the through line. Yeah.
So anyways, I Baskin Robbins, I don't necessarily, I feel like when I was looking for ice cream chains, there actually weren't that many that like really were like wide ice cream chains. I think like Dairy Queen is kind of its own thing. Like it really just like it's too innovative,
It's
like
too innovative
for this conversation.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to get a place that was like strictly an ice cream place that like their thing was just they put scoops in hands, no bowls, put it straight in your hand. And like that I think Baskin Robbins does capture. I think it probably makes it a less like sexy pick, but I do think that like if we're just talking an ice cream fast food place, like I would go with this. Because, like, Carvel, you're getting into, like, cakes and shit, there. And, like, Dairy Queen, you're getting into, like, weird drinks, that like ice cream sundaes stuff. So, this, I think, is just more, like, dapper.
But what about Benjamin and Jerome's?
What is
There's
Benjamin
not
Jerome's?
a lot of a standalone. Those come out of the fridge at the local convenience store.
There used to be standalones. There used to be
I've been to
plenty of
one
standalones.
standalone Ben & Jerry's in my whole life, dude.
Oh, God, that's what you're saying. Okay, Jesus Christ.
I was
like, what the
also
fuck is this?
confused. I'm like, I know Ben and Jerry's, but I've never heard of Jerome.
I did think about Ben and Jerry's, but I only have Ben and Jerry's like pints from a bodega. Like
Sure.
I don't want to go into a Ben and Jerry's. Are you kidding me?
I grew up with one like on my block as a kid, and that was the shit. And now it's a soulless little like dipped soft serve place that's nowhere near as good.
Are you calling a mom and pop shop soulless?
No, it's a chain.
Yeah.
It's a chain. It's a local chain.
Weird. Yeah, I feel like ice cream is a really regional fast food thing. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the Dairy Queens that I grew up going to were franchise Dairy Queens. They weren't like corporate Dairy Queens, so they were just roadside shacks. And one year, a guy lost his license to keep calling it a Dairy Queen, so he just took Queen off the building and called it Dairy and kept serving the same ice
Wow.
cream. So,
Interesting. Well, I think Dairy Queen's just called DQ now, right? Is it called fully Dairy Queen anymore? I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it doesn't
I
matter.
might just be
We're
I
not,
think
Dairy
it's
Queen's
still
not even on the
fully Dairy
list.
Queen,
Why do we
I'm
keep
not
talking
sure.
about Dairy Queen?
Yeah, we've talked. Well, that
Yeah.
probably speaks to how much Baskin Robbins might not make it too far, but that's fine.
We'll see. It probably
We'll
won't, though. Let's go ahead and munch on this list of 12, and when we're back, we're going to eat this top 5 list of fast food chains. We'll be back. Order up.
Yeah, hi. I would love to get like something ethically sourced. Is there any of your products like not shipped by disgusting huge conglomerations to your store?
Excuse me, this is a Wendy's. Of course, we do all the wrong things here. Next, please. Order up.
Yeah, I've been looking for something more from a local place, a brand that I can trust, and a group that I can really get behind.
Okay, I think we can get something like that from here. What are you looking for, Sonny boy?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps a pair of jeans, or I don't know, maybe even pillowcase.
Yeah, wait, do you guys have pillowcases? Because I could use a pillowcase.
You want a pillowcase? You over there, you're completely naked.
I eat T-shirts.
You eat T-shirts. But
Do you have T-shirts? I'm starving. I ate my own. I need to eat a T-shirt immediately.
Well, let me tell you guys here, because this is a Wendy's after all, that there is a website you can go to. If you go to www.podcavern.com and click on the merch store link, and if you buy anything off of that, a little bit of a kickback goes to the Pod Cavern, the world's most famous podcast network in the world that you love. And yeah, it'll be really great if you buy something from there and not support this Wendy's.
So wait, you're telling me if I go to podcavern.com, click on the merch store link, anything I buy will send a little bit of kickback to Podcavern, the world's best podcast network that I love?
That is exactly what I said.
Do you have T-shirts?
We have... Okay, this guy really wants to eat. Can we get deep-fried T-shirts in the back here? Hey, you, Tom, can you deep-fry some T-shirts, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, here you go. Order up, I guess.
Thank you. I haven't eaten in 7 days since I ate my own T-shirt.
Hey, are those T-shirts organic? Because if they're organic, I could like one as well.
Podcavern.com.
I'm Tom Zalatnai,
And I'm Tefera Jemian.
and we're the hosts of the No Bad Food podcast.
No Bad Food is a show about great food and the people who love to make and eat it. Our mandate is simple: to explore, taste, and learn about food in ways that celebrate all the things that make it great.
Every week we dig into a different dish, meal, ingredient, cuisine, or piece of food media, exploring the history and culture around it, sharing favorite recipes, and learning from our wonderful guests.
The only rule?
You gotta love it.
After all, there's no such thing as bad food.
Find us in the Pod Cavern or wherever fine podcasts are sold.
Top five, top five, top five.
Hello, everyone. We are back. We are full. Our bellies are just full of fast food, but we want to eat more, baby. We want to make a top 5 of these tasty fast food chains so that we can Uber eat some more food. I think that's what Giovanni's doing after this. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I haven't eaten dinner yet, so that'll happen.
Okay. Well, whatever wins number 1, you have to order from there.
If I can find it, yes, with one notable exception, which is that I'm retired from Taco Bell.
Oh, well.
So if that's it, then I know it's not going to be number 1, so that's perfect. That gives me ammo.
Okay. Well, I hope you have a bun me, boys, there. Let's go ahead and list our nominations here. So we have Bun Me Boys, we have Burger King, Taco Bell, Dunkin' Donuts, Shake Shack, Subway, Popeyes, KFC, McDonald's, Domino's, Sheetz, with a Z. Baskin Robbins is the last one we have here. So that's our list of 12. I think it's a fantastic list. There's a bunch of nominations that I would say are very good still that we didn't nominate. But I think overall we have a solid representation of what fast food is. But we're now going to have to make a top 5 from this. So I'm going to go ahead and get Tom to star a nomination that isn't one of your own for further consideration.
Hell yeah, I'm starring Popeyes, baby.
Popeyes
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Okay, Matt, go ahead and star a nomination that isn't one of your own.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to star Subway.
Hell yeah.
Well, we're going to
see
have
that
that
reciprocal.
Jared conversation real soon.
Yeah, we're getting to it.
Giovanni, star one that isn't one of your own.
I am going to star Bon Mi. No, I'm going to star Burger King. I wanted to give you a little bit of hope so I could crush it out of you.
I appreciate the little... Okay, I was going to say you're extending a little bit of a welcoming hand until you crush it with a tractor. Okay.
Say no bullshit.
Yeah, it's not bullshit. I will talk about that.
It sounds like a great place.
It is a great place, but I will talk about it, and we don't have to talk about it after that. Okay, so we have Burger King starred, Popeye starred, and Subway starred. I'm going to star one more, and I'm going to star KFC as my star.
Wow.
So obviously we can move things around and whatever, but let's go ahead and star more for further consideration. We don't have to go in a circle this time. Let's go ahead and open up the floor. If you have one on your list you really want to fight for with a passion, now's the time to star it.
I'm going to die on the Taco Bell hill.
Okay.
I'm going to do it.
I think it should be in the conversation.
Yeah.
I was gonna suggest that. Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
I'm into it.
Cool.
Honestly, at this point, the only other one that I think deserves... The only other one that I would be willing to rally behind at all is Domino's.
Does that mean we have to stir it?
If everyone else feels lukewarm on it, though, I am more than happy to just let it go.
I'm more than happy to talk about it for a little
I'd
bit.
be down to talk about it. I would love to have Dunkin' Donuts in the conversation, but if people don't feel super strongly about it, I get that it's not really like the ethos of fast food in the same way that some of these other ones are.
I don't think I would discount it because of that, to be honest with you, because I would have counted Tim Hortons as fast food, and they're very similar in my mind.
The only difference is that one is substantially better and the other exists.
The one that uses a real egg.
I agree. Dunkin' Donuts is the best.
I'll star Dunkin' Donuts. The thing is, I feel as though, and I don't want to start everything because that's what we're getting at right now, but I do think that McDonald's has to be talked about.
I agree.
That was, what I was going to say.
I'm down to, we don't have to have this on the final list, but I do think Shake Shack has a certain thing to it that I think is it elevates what fast food can be, is what I'm trying to get at with that.
Yeah, it's hard for me because, again, I think that it is just probably the best food on this list, just of all of this. But, I get that it kind of has like a regional charm to it, and I feel a little bit biased towards it, so I don't want to be the one to make the call. But it would be the only other thing left that I would star.
Let me just read you the ones that are starred, which is a 3/4 of the list right now. Shake Shack, McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, Domino's, Taco Bell, Popeyes, Dunkin' Donuts, and KFC. That is 9 of them, which is insane. We have to cut 4. I will say the ones that aren't starred are Baskin Robbins. I already think we know Baskin Robbins doesn't have to be in the conversation. I do like that an ice cream thing was nominated. My thing with ice cream is that although I do enjoy ice cream, I only want it in the summer. Like that's it.
That's fair. Yeah, it's very. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I eat a pint of Haagen-Dazs most nights year round.
Okay, well,
that's cool. That's just cool.
You're a cool person, but you're not going out for fast food ice cream. You're getting some for home.
Hell yeah, I'm getting some for home.
Yeah, you are. All right. Don't know what that voice is, but I like it.
Yeah, terrifying.
Sheets, I think, Matt,
is
you can talk about it.
not a fast food restaurant? Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Can we just leave it at that?
No, we're not going to leave it at that. I'm fine to not star Sheets. I think that's reasonable.
Great.
It's regional. That's cool. I'm not going to fight you. However, I am going to fight you that it is a real fast food restaurant. And what I will say, again, I would call it the Walmart theorem. Walmarts exist. They have both McDonald's. Well, I think now they all have Subways, but they used to have McDonald's, and now they have Subways in them. And that does not make Subway less of a fast food restaurant. Also, I've never in my whole life, Giovanni, been to a Baskin Robbins that isn't inside of a Dunkin' Donuts. And I don't even mean attached to a Dunkin' Donuts. I mean inside of a Dunkin' Donuts.
That's completely fair. That's totally fair, and I'm not going to argue that. In the same way that you're arguing that an ExxonMobil should be on this list.
No, ExxonMobil doesn't have its own kitchen. This isn't like... You didn't go to the Shell station and microwave a burrito, G. You picked an order. There's a kitchen with a grill. It is arguably as much of a fast food restaurant as McDonald's is. They microwave the same amount of things.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I will say, like, there are definitely gas stations that have a like built-in Tim Hortons here. And we're okay with Dunkin' Donuts on this list. I suspect there are Dunkin' Donuts that are gas stations.
Yeah, but Dunkin' Donuts isn't only tied to a gas station. It's less about that. My thing is more like, you go into a Sheetz and it's like, oh, here's a tin of Oreos or something, and like that to me does not feel like the same thing.
Yeah, and I certainly... I certainly would not even begin to make the argument for the non-ordered food at Sheetz.
Yeah.
Like I don't consider the fridges at Sheetz to be part of their fast food.
No, it's a separate thing.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like 7-Eleven. You were bringing this up earlier, Giovanni. Is like they have like their... I don't even know what that machine is called, where it just like slowly spins taquitos, and you're like, "Oh man, how long has that been there?" Like, I wouldn't count that. That is, Sheetz seems to be level above. There's a website, for God's sake, for that.
I'll give you that. I'll give you it. Yeah. Sheetz fine, but I think we can all agree, and I don't think any of us have had it except for Matt. So
and I won't fight to put it on a top 5 list. However, y'all should eat some Sheetz.
I love that because, and you know what, I'm not making a stink of this. This is the same argument here of Banh Mi Boys. I brought it up because I feel a passion for it. I want awareness for the people at home to open their eyes to new fast food chains that they might have not heard of. Yes, it's small. Doesn't mean it's not a chain. I do think the food is incredible, but I'm not here being like, okay, like it's going to beat out like, I don't know, a McDonald's or whatever it is. No, I'm not about that. Yeah. I'm like a good hour and a bit for the closest Banh Mi Boys. I understand. I can't even get to it like right away. But I will say, if you have the option to get it, you gotta go. It is so good. And like I said before, it is hard to find, not authentic, because they kind of Canadianize /Vietnamese /Korean mishmash of this new generation of food. It's hard to find that's not just white people food, and it makes me angry that that's in the world we live in.
As much as I've been joking about Banh Mi Boys, like I do appreciate it as a nominee because of that. Like I think it's cool to think outside the box of what fast food is and realize like it's not just burgers and fries, right? It's not just American comfort food.
Yeah.
And so I think it's cool that it's on this list. If it ever expands and like becomes something that I can access at any point in my life, I'm down. We can do a side episode where we relitigate it. That's fine.
Yeah, and I'll berate you. Yes, on that episode, I'll do that. But for today, I'll lay down my sword and we'll move on. So I'm going to read the list one more time, and what we're going to do is something called locks, okay? How locks works is it has to be unanimous. I'll read the nomination. You say if it's a lock or not. If there's hesitancy or pause or there's no lock, we just move on. If it's a unanimous lock, it's going to be locked for the top 5, likely. We can always shuffle things later. So here we go. Is Shake Shack a lock? Yes or no?
It's going to be a no for me, dog.
Guess not. I would lock it. I would lock it, but it sounds like
it's really hard because I just think it's the best food on this, but I don't feel like when I hear fast food chain, I just don't think of it. It's a really difficult one to hit, and I don't think that everyone here has had it, which I think also makes it kind of
but we can sell it on them. But we'll move on. McDonald's, lock or no lock?
I'd lock McDonald's.
Yeah, as much as like I don't like being that person, it's McDonald's. It's McDonald's. What are we saying here?
It's the Wayne Gretzky of fast food chains, if you will.
I'm not going to lock it for a specific reason. But
okay, we'll move on.
I'm not going to lock
Burger King, lock or no lock?
Lock.
I would lock Burger King.
Not me. Sorry.
No, I would not lock Burger King.
This is going to be a conversation.
Yeah, it will be. Subway, lock or no lock?
Lock that in.
I could get down with locking it. It was on my list.
I could lock
it was going to be like the number 3 on my list, so I'll say lock for the sake of having a lock.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Domino's, lock or no lock? No, I can't.
No, absolutely not.
Taco Bell, lock or no lock?
Lock.
Lock that shit in.
That's...
I regrettably have to say lock, but I don't want to.
I don't know if I can, but I think it'll sneak its way on the list. I'm going to not lock it for now.
Fair. Absolutely fair.
Popeyes, lock or no lock?
Lock. I want to so badly, but I feel like there are words to be said.
Sounds like we have a lot of shit to work through in this episode. Yeah. Dunkin' Donuts, lock or... Dunkin' Donuts, lock or no lock?
I'm probably the only one that's going to say it's a lock, but I mean, for me, this is a lock.
It's tough for me because it's also one of the only coffee places on our list. Yeah. Like, I value a place that I can get up and like get like Tim Hortons. Like, yeah, the food's not that great, but at least I can get a coffee there. Not a great one, but it's there. And like Starbucks isn't there, so Dunkin' Donuts kind of fits this bill. I could see it. I guess I could lock it, but nobody else. Okay. KFC, lock or no lock?
Yeah, I don't know about lock. It's hard because there are some of these where like it'll be a lock depending on who wins the matchup between the two places that are.
I think that's where we're going to go next, actually. So that's very interesting. For a list that we have 9 nominations of, we locked 1, and that was like not a firm
Subway.
Yeah, and it's
that's not going to be number. That's not going to be number 1. There's
Subway,
no way.
Eat Fresh, baby.
But yeah, I think there's some clear elimination that's going to happen based off some of these conversations.
Yeah.
Can we just of all of those when we went through that list, does anyone feel like Domino's should be on this list further than this conversation?
I do not. I really don't.
No.
Okay.
I will say as a shout out to Domino's because Tom was right when they were talking about the process and stuff. And to Domino's credit, they're like one of the only fast food places that I know that consistently and publicly show that they're donating to like a charity or a cause or something. Like the Domino's near my place, they're always having like a fundraiser. Like if you buy the $5 pizza this weekend, then we're raising money for this kid in this area who has a hard time hearing. And I think that's a cool ass thing that a lot of fast food chains don't give a shit about. A lot of fast food chains, I have to also say, they're so into memes and Twitter culture now, and it's so weird when brands are like trying to be your friend and be cool. Like KFC today, as of this recording, released a Morbius meme, and I'm like, Why? KFC, it's so weird that you're contributing to the Morbius conversation. So
I totally forgot when we were talking about the Burger King video games earlier that KFC has a video game. There is a KFC licensed dating sim that came out, I think, in 2020.
True.
And also, they did a Lifetime short film with Mario Lopez and some other people. I don't remember who.
It's a
sexy company.
Sexy Colonel Sanders. Even the dating game's he's hot now.
Yes,
Guys,
you can fry Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
I think I am maybe Team KFC over Popeyes just because of the media empire that KFC is pushing out. They have a D&D campaign. Yeah. They have video games. They have Mario Lopez. They have Rob Lowe. There are a lot of Colonel Sanderses, and they're all sexy as hell.
I would put KFC over Popeyes for sure.
I don't, in fact, put KFC over Popeyes. I, in fact, put Popeyes over KFC, and I'm kind of upset that we are going to narrow down our fight, the fight that we're going to have today about Chicky Tendies, and we're going to narrow that shit down to a media empire? Come on.
Can I put something out there? I did a little metagaming while we were talking about all of this. And where we're at now is we have two pairs that we realistically that it would make sense to get rid of one of, right? And that's McDonald's versus Burger King, Popeyes versus Kentucky Fried Chicken. But then the rest of the list, we have nothing else starred.
What do you mean?
Well, we have
nothing
Subway.
else locked, rather.
Yeah. I think
the only other thing that's starred on the list at that point is Taco Bell. Here's what I'm thinking. We have Subway locked. We need to lock 4 more.
Yes.
If we lock Taco Bell, that leaves us with 3 to choose between the 4, like the 2 burger, the 2 chicken. Mm-hmm. If we're sticking with stuff that's been starred only. That puts us in a spot where we're pretty okay to have either both BK and McDonald's on the list or both KFC and Popeyes on the list.
Okay, in that case, can we say, I know there's a little bit of debate about this. I think Taco Bell probably makes sense to lock. I feel like 3 of us are down with it, and I feel like it's going to be hard to sway the 3 of us away from it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I understand the cultural zeitgeist around Taco Bell. Like, one of my favorite video game personalities got married at a Taco Bell. Like, there
Sonic?
is stories about Taco Bell that I love. I just don't love the food.
And we'll
but
get into
I understand the food.
I think that's a conversation of more should it be number 1 or not, and I think that locks it. Okay, so that leaves us with 3, like we said.
I would like to posit that I do think it makes sense to do the matchup conversations between Popeyes and KFC. Like, one of those 2 will make it. I do think McDonald's, Burger King, Shake Shack, those guys can hash it out a little bit. Shake Shack definitely seems like the one that's a little bit different, but I do posit that doesn't make it. I don't think it disqualifies it in my brain, because if you look at a bunch of different websites and what they recommend as the best fast food restaurants, Shake Shack is arguably one of the best fast food restaurants because it actually tastes really good.
It's really, really, really good. It's so hard to explain how good it is, but it is an actual burger. It's not like a fast food burger, but it comes in the speed of a fast food burger. It's crazy. I'm comfortable with the Burger King versus McDonald's matchup ending in 2 things making it on the list. I'm less comfortable with Popeyes versus KFC, so I feel like we got to cut one of them.
I agree. I think Popeyes, KFC, one of them has to go.
Okay, let's hear the arguments. Just because I've only had more KFC in my life, I'm on Team KFC.
I'm also on Team KFC, and unfortunately, it is because if you want to match up the chicken, that's fine. But I think KFC's got the sides, and I know that Popeyes has the one side that's.
I don't think that's true, though. Cool. I don't think that's true, though. What? Right. Okay, so let's compare sides, right?
Okay,
KFC mashed potatoes, yes, good.
Great.
Popeyes mashed potatoes with Cajun gravy, also good.
Sure, yeah.
So What side would you suggest next on the KFC side that Popeyes also probably has?
I mean, I'm like a mac and cheese or something, I'm sure. But what I will say as well, again, the dessert, I think you can't discount the big molten, chocolate cake or whatever that they do, which is great. And I also want to bring back in the conversation about like it's fun to get a big bucket of KFC and share it with your family, which I think we can see as kind of like a luxury, but I do think that it is kind of part of the fast food experience, the joy of like sitting down and eating the fast food and how it's presented to you. And I do think that KFC has that in spades, and I think it's actually the best thing on the list in terms of that aspect.
Now, I will very quickly point out that there is one other person on this list who has a molten lava cake dessert option, and is also an innovator in the space who created a customized pizza tracking tool.
No,
absolutely not.
I'm curious. Okay, one of my favorite things about KFC, and I know Popeyes has this too, I'd love to hear the conversation of popcorn chicken.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
Love it.
Yeah. Look,
So
guys, can I just say, like, right now, realistically, we've got Tuong and Giovanni are both Team KFC. Matt's Team Popeyes. Only one of these franchises reminds me that I want to fuck Rob Lowe.
Is that where we're going
That
here?
Is that
such
KFC?
an
I don't know.
upsetting
I have
thing
no
to lose
idea.
an argument over.
And I'm really sorry, Matt, but I think that's where I'm at with this one. I think I
will
got to
say
give it
if
to
we-
KFC
if
because I
we
want
are
to give
at
it to
a-
Rob Lowe.
And if we are at a 3 versus 1, I think we just have to. You got Taco Bell in here, and I think
I
that's,
agree.
that's a victory.
My
think
question
if
is,
it's
does
3-1.
Popeyes
Lowe?
also have Popeye the mascot attached to him? Attached at all? No?
No, they have a very sweet woman from Louisiana whose name I do not know.
Which is great, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Has Popeyes the restaurant ever had Popeyes the man a part of it?
I don't think so.
Popeyes, comma
Popeyes
space,
the man
the
has
man.
ever.
Because I was going to say, with the argument of video games and stuff, because Popeyes the man has had a video game. It sucks, but he has one.
Oh,
And he also has his own
Popeye.
protein powder. That's right. It's Popeye. I'm sorry.
yeah,
No,
they
you're
did.
right.
They did until 2012 have licensing
shit.
to use the Popeye
Oh.
characters,
Oh,
but they don't any longer.
But they don't anymore, which is kind of where it falls apart for me.
Yeah. I would say again, like I think you got the victory with getting Taco Bell on this list, and it's going to be pretty high end. I think for the sake of keeping this conversation shorter, let's eliminate Popeyes and put KFC in.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. The one last thing that I do want to say about Popeyes over KFC, and I agree that 3-1 you win this, but
Yeah.
Popeyes has spicy as an option for basically all their chicken except nuggets, because they know nuggets are for the white people. But they have actual spicy chicken, and like KFC's 11 herbs and spices are good, but they are not spicy fried chicken.
it's true.
That's fair. I'm not a spicy person, which is why that's a benefit to me. Like it just tastes good.
I'll be honest,
but yeah,
Matt.
I hear you.
Yeah, I'll be honest, and I'm Team KFC. I'm not going to change my mind on that. But I have a feeling if I had Popeyes versus KFC today in this room today, I would probably lean Popeyes. Probably. But because that's not happening right now, I'm going to go KFC.
I
that's
just
fair.
think I think more fondly about KFC. Whether
Me
or not
too.
like in a taste test it would win, I think more fondly about it, and that's
Yeah,
a tough
well,
thing to get.
I mean, yeah. I think more fondly of KFC too because I grew up on it. But like, honestly, the packaging and all that stuff, it's nice, but it's not the food itself. Like it has to come down to taste for me. But I haven't had enough Popeyes for me to make the decision. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think the question that we're going to get into now, because we have 3 on here, the question that we get into is, do Burger King and McDonald's both make the list, or should we choose between one of them?
I'll be honest. The way I feel about this is we take one of those guys and we keep Shake Shack. I think Shake Shack is the thing that makes our list different from other lists out there. I think it makes it more interesting, and it's also, again, the better food.
Okay, so not to be the dissenter again, however, I would like to argue you on 2 points.
Yep.
Point 1, I think Subway being on our list is what makes it different, because I don't think Subway is getting as much love as we're giving it. That's beside the point. I will admit that Shake Shack being in Ohio is a newer thing. We just got our first Shake Shack, like right around the beginning of the Panini, and I think we have 2 now, and I will say neither of them are very good. I also understand that the farther you get away from the source of a restaurant, the worse it gets. That makes plenty of sense to me. And so I feel as though my opinion of Shake Shack is probably biased. However, every single Shake Shack experience that I've had, which albeit is only about 5, has been bad. The food has been bad. The service has been bad. And more than anything, I think what is like almost bugging me that it's on this list is that it's taken forever. There is nothing fast food to me about Shake Shack. Shake Shack's a goddamn restaurant.
It is slower. I will say it is quick, but it is slower than a lot of things. Like, it is a place where in New York especially, they give you a buzzer. Like, it takes that long that they give you like the coaster buzzer. And I was thinking that when we were talking about it. Like, I do consider it fast food, but in terms of if we like made metrics, which we probably should have done at the beginning of like speed, taste, value, I think like this wins on taste and kind of fails on everything else. Like, it's not like it's kind of pricey. At least in New York, it's kind of pricey. It's not short. It is, I think, the best tasting food on this list. But with that perspective of knowing that it maybe doesn't taste as good outside of New York, I'm comfortable cutting it.
I'm not sure because like there's plenty of bad Subways. I've had plenty of bad Subways, plenty of bad Burger King.
That's your own fault, my brother in Christ. You made the sandwich.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I would say I'm a huge Shake Shack supporter, but I do understand why one would want to cut it from the list. Like, I don't know if it hits the basis of fast food in the way that some of these does, I think it is like objectively the best food on the list.
I think it fits the criteria. I think it makes it interesting. It serves beer. I think that's already a win. You know, I'd much sooner cut McDonald's, honestly, than cut Shake Shack, only for the interesting part of I'd like to have the flavor in this list.
If you want flavor, let me tell you about a little restaurant called Dunkin' Donuts. That can really add
it's already on the list. It's already on the list.
I thought you were going to say I can give you 31 of those.
Yeah.
Did we lock? We didn't lock Dunkin' Donuts, right?
We did. So,
So
we
let
locked
me-
Dunkin' Donuts? Amazing.
Yeah, I have it locked here. So we had Subway, Taco Bell, and Dunkin' Donuts locked, and then we have
KFC.
just.
And then KFC we just locked.
Oh, and KFC. Sorry. Oh, I guess I must have locked the wrong thing. Dunkin' Donuts is not locked. Sorry.
Let me say something really controversial. Let me do it. If this is how I get canceled, so be it.
Yeah,
I would put Dunkin' Donuts on this list and cut Shake Shack.
I'm okay with it.
I would be okay with it. I know that that's tough, but I do feel pretty passionately about Dunkin' Donuts as an institution in a way that Shake Shack is like a New York institution. I don't know that it is quite the same experience elsewhere, and I will agree about the point of like it not maybe being fast enough, you know, for what you really want out of a fast food place. Like for a fast food place, for me, I want to be able to like stand and like be standing for 2 minutes and then get my food, and like it's not a big deal. I kind of have to sit if I go into a Shake Shack. Like I'm going to be waiting at a table, and at that point it is kind of like a restaurant where I just order at a counter. Granted, it is faster than a restaurant, but I would be comfortable with cutting it for that.
I'm into this idea because it also gets rid of our 2 burger places dilemma, because we only have 1 slot left after that. So if we pop Dunkin' Donuts in there,
I'd be fine with that.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
okay.
So then it comes down to McDonald's and Burger King. Goodbye, Shake Shack. We tried, but alas, you're not good anywhere else.
It's a great restaurant, and everybody should eat it. It's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
It is certainly better than In-N-Out. I will 100% hop on that train.
But it's now between McDonald's and Burger King. Only one of them has Grimace.
That's true.
I forgot the rest of the characters. What's the bird lady's name? What's her name?
I don't know.
That's like the one I don't know. I know the Hamburglar, and I know Grimace, and I know Ronald McDonald. I had this is a weird tangent, but I had so many like McDonald's toys and videos as a kid. Going to McDonald's was like, I guess it's less of a tangent now and more just my argument, but McDonald's when I was a kid was kind of an experience. And I know that we've gotten really far away from that, but like if y'all remember the late 90s when Beanie Babies were huge. There was like one place you could get Beanie Babies, and it was McDonald's. Which is wild.
And their birthday parties ruled there,
I have an enormous bag of like late 90s, early 2000s McDonald's Beanie Babies about 20 feet away from me as we speak.
Yeah.
I think you could sell those for a pretty penny.
Here's what I'll say, and this maybe will help seal this a little bit. Burger King is probably my favorite fast food restaurant. I kind of didn't say that while we were doing it because I was saving it for this. It was number one on my list when Tom hit it. I was like, oh crap, like I have to do this. But what I will say is that Burger King is my favorite fast food restaurant because of the chicken sandwich and not because of the burger. I never get a burger from Burger King. I get the tender crisp chicken sandwich exclusively. That's the only thing. And like when I'm looking
But have
at
you
this
tried
list,
the spicy crispy chicken sandwich? Because it's very good. I'm obligated to tell you.
The chicken is great at Burger King. I think it eclipses the burger, and it is Burger King. And like for me, I think if we're getting into a conversation of like which of these two like burger fast food chains should be on this list, as much as in my heart of hearts I think that Burger King is the best and it should be on this, like in the list as the way we have assembled it now, I think we would be remiss to not have McDonald's, which I think is the better burger. That's kind of how I feel. Not like necessarily a more gourmet burger, but like in terms of a fast food
absolutely
burger.
not. Yeah.
Like absolutely not. Like in terms of a fast food burger, it's almost like Domino's in that like it's its own thing, right? It's like McDonald's is its own food, whereas like Burger King is like a burger.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I would say. And again, I would be like probably the biggest Burger King advocate at this table, but even I am kind of like feeling it probably should be McDonald's.
Let me ask you one thing, Giovanni.
Yeah.
But before I do that, I just have to say, when I said, what's the bird character's name from McDonald's? I looked it up. It's Birdie.
Wow, incredible. Good.
So there you go. It's Birdie the morning bird or early bird, whatever.
Okay.
Sure.
Breakfast character.
Yeah, she comes strolling around with an Egg McMuffin and a hash brown. Anyways, my question to you was, if you love Burger King that much, just looking at the rest of the list, would you cut anything else to replace it with Burger King?
That's a really good question, and I mean probably KFC, but we had that discussion, so I don't know. Unless people really feel like they want Burger King over KFC, but I feel like we want, like after all of that, we probably want to include it, right?
There would be something absolutely insane about kicking KFC off this list to put Burger King in when the main argument for Burger King is that their chicken is good.
I know.
Really.
I am very comfortable just cutting Burger King and saying that it's number 6, like in our hearts or whatever, and that's fine by me.
Here's the thing. Burger King gave me over $1,500 over the course of one summer once. And I still am okay with them not making it into the top 5.
Okay.
There you go.
That's easy.
My little tangent of Burger King before we cut it is that I lived very close to a Burger King, and my friends in high school ran the Burger King place. There was a manager. He was a manager there. So basically after hours, we shut down the restaurant. I don't work there, but I got to go into this Burger King and start making Burger King food in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Complete health hazard. I don't have anything on or whatever. Like, I'm just like playing with these deep fryers. There's no security cameras. I had so much chicken at Burger King, and that's a testament to how good the chicken was.
Yeah, it's good chicken.
Yeah, great memories. But McDonald's memories, I think it still trumps it, you know. So our list is McDonald's, not in this order though. McDonald's, Subway, Taco Bell, Dunkin' Donuts, and KFC. Strong list. Let's start with number 5. What's number 5?
I'd be comfortable either putting KFC or Dunkin' Donuts there, and I'll say that as the person that brought both of them in.
I'm comfortable with both of those. I would maybe put Dunkin' below KFC because the dessert to me is less of a priority than
Sorry, I haven't been
chicken.
to Dunkin' Donuts in forever. What else does it have?
Dunkin' Donuts has coffee. They got donuts. They got breakfast sandwiches. You can get a strawberry culotta. You can get lots of beautiful coffee drinks. You can get lots of beautiful, like, delicious treat drinks. It's kind of a mix between, like, a breakfast place and, like, a treat place.
Give me the thing that I care most about right now in this conversation is what is the quality of the breakfast food at Dunkin' Donuts?
It's good enough.
Okay, all right.
I'm a pretty big supporter of Dunkin' Donuts breakfast sandwiches, specifically the sausage, egg, and cheese. They also have mini hash browns, which are quite tight.
Listen, I love a hash brown.
The one thing that I will say is interesting is, like, looking at this list right now, 4 of these 5 things serve breakfast. KFC is the one that doesn't serve breakfast. However, Dunkin' Donuts serves breakfast and not really anything else meal-wise.
Very fair. Yeah.
All right.
So I think, personally, a strong 5-4 is Dunkin' Donuts at 5, KFC at 4.
Yeah, I think
100% agree.
Yeah. I think Subway should be number. Well, then Taco Bell keeps climbing.
Okay, I
Do we want to have the Taco Bell discussion here?
Let's have it.
I need to hear about Giovanni formally retiring from Taco Bell.
Yeah, let's hear
Taco
it.
Bell was like a huge part of my life. It was a delicious thing. I would eat it. There was one really close to me in college, so like, and when I lived like at my last apartment, there was one like walking distance, like a block away. So like, cheap food, great, college budget, New York budget, whatever, like great food. Ate a ton of it. At some point in my life, it just started making me sick. Like I just started feeling ill eating it. So I just had to stop. And like, I eat a lot of fast food. Like I've had a lot in my life. There's no other fast food place that's done that to me. That's been like, wow, I have to stop because this feels like I'm going to die if I continue eating it. Like, I really think that like no other thing on this list does that. And part of me thinks that like it would be totally fine to have Taco Bell like in the top, even like number 1 on this. But like in my heart of hearts, I do think you could die eating it. And like that's the thing. The other knock I'll do against it is like they have a million products and like they're all just the same thing. I mean, they're literally like all just the same thing. You know, just like creatively rewrapped. And like, you know, like the Mexican pizza is like an abomination of like all things that are holy. What I would say is like if we were going off of like the place that has the best single item, I would say that like the Crunchwrap Supreme would be like the number 1 on this list, and it wouldn't even be a conversation. That's the only thing I get at it, and so like I don't think the rest of the menu is nearly as strong as that. They did the Doritos Locos Tacos, and like that needs to kick it down on the list, I think, for that purpose alone, because that's a crime. And like if we're knocking Jared, we also have to knock the the Doritos Locos Tacos.
Wow.
For not similar reasons, but like also bad. I would be comfortable putting Taco Bell anywhere in these top 3 spots, but like if we are at a point where we're trying to figure out like should it be lower or higher, I would be fine splitting the difference and putting it like at 3 or 2 or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where I'm at with Taco Bell is that the thing that I love about it more than anything is that it understands its audience as hard as it does.
I agree.
Yeah.
Where like, you know, yeah, you want Taco Bell, you probably also want Doritos. You want Taco Bell, you probably also want Mountain Dew, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and look, I like Mountain Dew a lot. I sometimes just get Baja Blast at the gas station across the street from my house because it's the closest I can get to Taco Bell because there's no Taco Bell here. I'm still happy to put it at number 3 at that point.
Yeah, I really love Taco Bell. I think that it sits pretty firmly upon my own personal top list, but all of these points are incredibly valid. I mean, who among us has not woken up the day after a Taco Belling and thought that they made a mistake? You know, it's like I experienced that not 48 hours ago. So I really do understand that. The one thing that I do want to say about Taco Bell, and honestly, this doesn't change my mind of really where it should be, I just think it's important to make a nod to, is that as far as I know, it is still the most accessible fast food restaurant for vegans and vegetarians.
That's
because
fair.
It is so easy to switch everything for beans.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the thing. We're gonna if we put Taco Bell down at 3, then Subway gets dangerously closer to getting number 1, and that's a scary thought. But
is it?
I don't know. Maybe it's not.
Here's
Eat fresh, Giovanni. Eat fresh.
I don't want Jared to be number 1.
Well, that's gonna definitely be the thing that holds it back.
Here's my thought process right now. I'm having a very hard time, so I might have to defer a little bit here. Is that Taco Bell I don't think is good food. I don't. I at one point in my life I loved it, and then one day it betrayed me entirely. I was just like, I couldn't wait to eat Taco Bell one day, and I got like what I would usually get, and I was like looking at it, I'm like, this ground beef looks like newspaper clippings. Like this lettuce is not, it's rubber. This shell is so lazily put together, but I ate it anyways. And then I felt sick to my stomach entirely. But saying that, the thing with Taco Bell that I do love, though, is it is cheap. You're right. The level of Taco Bell, you kind of know what you're getting into all the time. And there's something really fun about Taco Bell that even though I just bashed it, it's hard not to love it anyways.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, I don't want Subway to be number one. And I kind of don't want McDonald's to be number one because that's the obvious choice. So does that make Taco Bell number one? And everything I just said is just nonsense? I don't know.
Yeah, I actually feel the exact same way as you with that. Like it feels like none of these should be number one, even though I think they're all probably the three best things that we have, and that's a really weird feeling. I feel like we have to split the difference with Taco Bell. I feel like it's got to be. It can't be number one. It's got to be 2 or 3.
Sure.
Can I offer a reasoning? Because I agree. I'm in this same place of like, are any of these 3 number one? So I think that I'm just looking at these 3 options being Subway, Taco Bell, McDonald's. And I tried to decide on a metric to like figure out how to order those. And Tom, I think it was you who said it earlier.
Eat fresh?
I always know how I'm gonna feel after I eat Subway, and it's fine. I have not eaten Subway that Subway alone has made me like ill, and I have had that experience at McDonald's, but I've had that experience at McDonald's less than I've had it at Taco Bell. I don't think there's any restaurant under the sun that has made me sicker, yet I've run back faster to than Taco Bell. Taco Bell is the ex-girlfriend I cannot get away from. I, despite the abuse, continue to come back. So I would, and I, in my heart of hearts, feel so filthy, would go Subway number 1, McDonald's number 2, Taco Bell number 3.
This is where I'm at too, honestly.
Let's put Taco Bell at number 3. Can we all
Let's
agree?
put Taco Bell number 3.
Taco Bell at number 3 for sure.
Yeah. The thing with, the only thing, I struggle with this entirely because I'm like, Subway number 1? Subway number 1?
Right?
Fast food chains of all time? Subway? Are you kidding me? But also, like, I understand the point. But also, when I go out and I'm craving fast food, the answer in my head is usually not Subway. Subway is like a meal to me. When I think of fast food, I want like the quick fix of something. And that's where McDonald's comes in. But then I struggle because I also don't want McDonald's number 1. So.
Yeah, picking McDonald's feels like saying the Beatles is your favorite band.
Yeah.
Like,
It does.
It really is tough to see putting McDonald's at number 1. I could kind of see Subway at number 1. And I hate that. It is the only one that all of us locked as well, which I knew was going to come back and bite us in the ass.
Hate that.
But, like, I fucking hate it. But, like, it is true that it is the only one that all of us locked. Here's what I'll say about Subway. I 100% agree. I am never, if I'm thinking, like, I want to get fast food, I'm never going to get Subway. But, like, that almost is a, like, thing in its corner to some extent, because it means that I think of it as better food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think of it as something like healthier, and like what happens is that like if I ever am in a situation where I need to eat where I need to eat quickly, but like I still want to feel like I've eaten something that is like actual food and like eaten a meal, I will go to Subway. It is like second nature. It will be Subway for me. Whereas like McDonald's, I'm only ever going to eat in a circumstance where I'm like, I want to eat trash garbage. Like, I'm never going to eat McDonald's in any way that's not guilty pleasure. And the fact that Subway is like, I can see different situations in which I would eat it, and like also I consider it food and not trash from the gutter, is like, I don't know, maybe it's Subway. It feels so weird.
It feels weird. And you know what? I think there's a certain level of like, it should be kind of trash from the gutter because it's fast food. But I think we're at an impasse here. I think it has to be Subway, just because I refuse to have McDonald's be number 1.
Yeah, I do too.
And then that's only because we all agree that it's like it's a boring pick. But like honestly, I would have McDonald's 9 times out of 10 over Subway. But here we are. Subway's going to be number 1, so let's just friggin' do it before I change my mind.
That is the most psychotic outcome that could have fucking happened on this.
Truly hate it. I used to like our list, and now I hate it.
Eat fresh.
Nobody knows. Tom has changed their Zoom background into Subway.
I again just want to point out just one last thing. I know it's locked, but I just want to say, are we fine with the Jared thing? I mean,
we're okay with the Jared thing.
Not fine with the Jared thing, obviously, but are we comfortable saying, should we put an asterisk that's like number 1 Subway asterisk not Jared? Like, should we do that?
Listen, at the end of the day, all fast food chains and corporations have done something shitty. They just had a weird mascot where they chose a human being rather than like a cartoon character.
I think that I can separate the brand of Subway from the sins of Jared, especially because I know we're talking about Subway. I'd really rather it be Quiznos, but like that shit's just not really around anymore.
Yeah.
So
we could talk. Yeah, I think Quiznos toast their bread better. But anyways, man, I think actually, honestly, last time Tom was on an episode, or the time before that, I think Jared also popped up in the conversation. So there's a theme happening here.
Tom, why?
I don't know.
What did we do last time?
I'm not sure.
What was last time?
Let's think about it later.
I don't want to know what the list could have possibly been to get Jared on it. It's probably an episode that shouldn't have happened.
Wait, was it fantasy sea creatures last time?
Yeah,
what?
It was not. I just Jared would like appear in the conversation. Anyways, running theme. Top 5 fast food chains according to this group, and in the podcast and the official list is number 5 Dunkin' Donuts, number 4 KFC, number 3 Taco Bell, number 2 McDonald's, and number 1 Subway. Eat fresh. Asterisk.
Not Jared.
Not Jared, for sure. Unless it's Jared from South Park, who's also a piece of shit, but at least it's funny.
Wow. I don't want to say I feel good about this list, but I feel like I feel about the list.
Yeah, you know what? When I look at this list a few months from now, I'm going to be like, what were we on? What happened?
The nice thing about it is that all of us got a thing on it, and I think that's pretty cool. It does feel very even, and like it was determined between all of us.
Yeah. That feels great. I'm just looking. Okay, all right.
This list sucks.
I'm like,
does fast food just suck? Is that what we just learned in this episode?
Is that it?
Kind of does, man.
It's, I find it interesting on the episodes where a lot of people come in with the most strong opinions. It's like nobody wins at the end of the day, and we're like, well, fuck it. I guess Subway's number 1. We did this with the top 5 cereals back like many, many years ago, and we're like, oh, I guess Frosted Flakes wins because nobody else could decide on what they actually. Yeah, it was insane.
I will say that Subway was going to be like on my list. I mean, it was in my top 3.
Number 1?
So like,
no, Burger King was your number 1. Get out of here.
Great question.
Tom,
Burger King was going to be my number 1. So.
Yeah. Tom, can you rapid fire your entire honorable mentions list here?
Oh, God. I mean, I can rapid fire it as fast as I can get my notes app open again. Yes, I still have beef jerky. The rest of my Ani Menchies, we got A&W burgers. We've got Pizza Hut. Starbucks, which I'm going to say it counts. You know,
yeah.
They serve food. They're
Dunkin' Donuts is on the list.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck it. Starbucks, man. Wendy's. And then the only other thing I had written on here is fuck Tim Hortons, because that's how I feel about that.
But they have real eggs. Okay, we'll move on.
Their coffee's good now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Matt, list all of your honorable mentions here.
Yeah, I actually only have a few left. 1 is Arby's. I love Arby's.
Oh, yeah.
They have the meats. 2 is another regional thing, and this is where I wanted to stake my claim in the anti-white people fast food court. But I think that one of the things that you run into with fast food is the things that go national are the things that anybody will eat for $1, and you don't get a lot of ethnic food in that. But one of my all-time favorite restaurants is a place called Bibimbap, which is fast casual Subway-style Korean bibimbap.
Oh,
bibimbap,
yeah.
Okay.
and it's
That's awesome.
phenomenal, and I love
Yeah.
it. And like that, and then Greek Express, another regional. It's like, hey man, sometimes I want a $5 gyro from a drive-through. Woo! Like, I just don't think that a lot of ethnic fast food chains get the spread because they don't do as well in rural America. But I love ethnic fast food joints,
Yep. Hell yeah.
specifically ethnic fast casual places.
Giovanni, list all the rest of your honorable mentions if you have any.
Yeah, I'll rapid fire them.
Papa
Elon,
John's,
yeah,
Sbarro.
Papa John's. Let's do Elon, Amoco, BP, Chevron, Exxon. What else do we got here?
Okay.
Lukoil, Mobil. What else?
What an incredible bit you've committed to, G. Thank you.
Quick Trip, Shell, Sinclair, Speedway. Yeah, lots of good ones. Texaco.
Just Wikipedia gas stations?
Yeah, I'm on the Wikipedia for gas stations.
That's
Which,
hilarious.
by the fucking way, on the list of filling station chains in North America includes Sheetz. For the record. No, the only other thing that I would add to this conversation, and I did mention it, was Five Guys. Five Guys is
Yes.
great.
Yes,
Yeah.
Five
It's
Guys
a
is
really
great.
good burger.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything that I wanted to say kind of got on this list.
Perfect.
So,
Fantastic. I'll list mine here. A thing in Ontario that I really like is called Beaver Tails. I would consider that fast
Yeah.
food.
We got
That's
those
the
here.
most Canadian
It
shit
is
I've ever
Canadian
heard.
as shit. It's not real beaver tails. It's fried dough, and it's amazing.
That sounds awesome.
It's
That
great.
does
It's real good.
Arby's is great. My partner really wanted to make sure that I mentioned Arby's again. She loves Arby's so much. Arby's sauce, she's crazy about it. I think this probably didn't count. That's why I didn't say it. It's even more, probably doesn't count compared to Bun Me Boys. But I think Costco food is fine.
Hey man, the Costco chicken bacon ranch logs are kind of tasty.
Right? Okay. All right. Thank you. Giovanni's like, no. Costco fries are amazing. I'm staking my claim there.
$1.50 hot dogs.
Hell yeah. Panera bread. I like Panera bread, personally.
yeah, I thought
like
about putting
it.
Panera on the list, but it's just not my thing. But
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme, New York fries, I like Quiznos quite a bit, but yeah, you can't find Quiznos anymore. So Subway automatically wins. And then the ethnic ones, if you will, you can find them in like food courts usually, at least in Canada you can. Manchu Wok, Shanghai 360, and Thai Express.
Manchu
Thai
Wok
We don't
is
have
really
any
good
of
call.
those.
Yeah.
Thai
Yeah.
Express, I don't think has reached the States yet, but Thai Express will one day reach the States because they are working on it. And damn, you guys aren't ready. It's good to shit.
I would
good
very
shit.
much like it if it did. Yeah. I mean, we have Panda Express, but that's really the only, at least off the top of my head, the like fast food, general Chinese food that I can really think of.
Let me tell you something wild about Thai food. It's not Chinese.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that, but
I was like, what's the punchline? All right, well,
Okay.
that's it for today's episode of Fast Food. We are very, very greasy at the end of this episode. I feel disgusting. Not just for the conversation we had, but our list is insane.
Yeah, it sucks. It totally sucks.
But I love it.
Absolute nonsense.
It was great. The journey was fantastic. So who well, I don't care. Subway's fine. It's great. Tom, can you give people the plugs that you have?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, the main thing is that I want you all to eat fresh. Good Lord. Yeah, if you like me and like hearing me talk about food, I do it on a weekly basis over on the No Bad Food podcast. All three of these lovely gentlemen have been on there multiple times. So if you want to hear them also, spoilers, you can. Check it out. No Bad Food, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow me on all the social medias at Zalatnai. And if you're in the Montreal area, hit me up. I sell cheese and meat. You'll like me as a person. Come find me in real life.
Fantastic plug. What kind of cheese? All the cheese?
All the cheese, man.
Wow.
All the cheese.
Okay. Fantastic. Thanks again, Tom, for being on today's episode. Always appreciate having you here. Next time, if we can just avoid conversations about, well, let's call it the J word. I don't want to keep saying his name because I feel like it's one of those Candyman situations.
Yeah,
So,
he'll appear. Yeah.
Matt, thank you for being in the pod cavern today.
yeah, thanks for having me. I am from a podcast called I almost said the name of my podcast wrong. That'd be neat. I'm from a podcast called Debate This. We argue over questions in comic books and video games that nobody is asking, like what color Yoshi is the best color Yoshi, or what Candy Crush candy would taste the best in real life, or if you're into more recent cursed things, what comic book arc should be made as a Muppets movie. It was a journey. And we do that every Tuesday. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts by searching for Debate This, or on social media at Debate This Cast, or at our website, debatethiscast.com. Tom and Giovanni have both been on it. Tuong will have to get you on it at some point. It's a real good, real crazy, wild time. And
everything you're saying, I love, and obviously I love debating things, so I would love to. Thank you for being on the podcast, Matt. Giovanni, thanks for coming in strong here today and shutting me down right away in my first nomination, but
Absolutely.
I think friendships were forged. I think
so. Yeah.
What do you have to plug for the people at home?
I'll do my 3 plugs. You can find me on Twitter at Mario Prime. You can read my writing about video games at digitaltrends.com, where I write about video games, and you can listen to me talk about video games on the podcast Left Trigger, Right Trigger. It is a video game book club where every episode we pick a certain word or phrase, a topic, where each of us brings forward a game that we think somehow fits into that topic, and we break it down from 4 different angles. So if you like the sound of that, and if you just like video games, and if you like linguistics and hearing words being used, being truly the definitions of them spun apart in weird ways, then you might like the show.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. That all sounds really good. Everyone has such cool podcasts here. Look at us. How did we have all good podcasts, but we couldn't come up with a good list?
It's amazing that Joe Rogan didn't think of it first, let me tell you.
You think Joe Rogan doesn't like Subway? Let's be fucking real.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, for myself, you can find the rest of the shows in the Pod Cavern at www.podcavern.com. Check out all the shows on the network. And let's get out of here and get some fast food. Bye, everyone.